Welcome, our noble viewers. Today, we reveal the hidden truth behind Egypt's most powerful queen. Was she a ruthless villain controlling Rome's great leaders, or a tragic victim of brutal fate? History calls her a seductress, draped in shining gold. But her real weapon was never her beauty. Armed with a brilliant mind, her only goal was saving her dying nation from total and absolute ruin. Watch the dramatic rise and tragic fall of Cleopatra, the final true pharaoh of ancient Egypt. The grand Ptolemaic dynasty ruled a wealthy land, blessed by the sacred and eternal Nile. Alexandria shined as a brilliant beacon of deep knowledge, wealth, and unmatched ancient glory. The dark shadows of Roman expansion began to threaten the quiet borders of this mighty realm. On the throne sat the aging king, Ptolemy XII, whose royal power was quickly fading away. His health declined, leaving the glorious empire highly vulnerable to dangerous foreign threats. To secure the future, he named his brilliant daughter, Cleopatra, as his trusted co-ruler. She was a brilliant young woman, speaking multiple languages and mastering complex politics. Unlike her Greek ancestors, she embraced the native culture, earning the love of common people. She boldly presented herself as the living goddess Isis, commanding absolute respect. When her father passed away, the heavy burden of the majestic crown fell upon her shoulders. Royal tradition demanded she marry her younger brother, the arrogant boy Ptolemy. Ptolemy XIII was a foolish teenager, easily manipulated by advisors. They despised Cleopatra's power and whispered toxic lies into the young, insecure king's ears. Tensions quickly rose within the marble palace walls, fully tearing the royal family apart. The young boy king officially stripped his brilliant sister of her rightful titles and authority. Forced into exile, she fled into the unforgiving desert to gather a massive royal army. While she built her forces, the Roman Republic watched the Egyptian chaos with greedy eyes. Rome urgently needed the vast grain supplies of the Nile to feed its ever-growing legions. General Pompey fled to Egypt, seeking refuge, but the young king foolishly ordered his dark demise. Ptolemy believed this ruthless gift would highly please the incoming dictator, Julius Caesar. Instead, the brutal assassination angered Caesar, who demanded total control of Egypt. Caesar marched his heavily armed legions right into the capital, taking over the palace. Cleopatra realized this was her perfect chance to reclaim the golden throne from her brother. However, returning to the guarded palace was incredibly dangerous for the exiled queen. Legend claims she cleverly smuggled herself inside a woven carpet to bypass the soldiers. Whether true or myth, her daring entrance perfectly showcased her courage and brilliant intellect. She suddenly appeared before the Roman general, shocking him with her absolute confidence. It was not just beauty, but her powerful charisma that instantly captivated the leader. She offered Caesar a strategic alliance, her immense wealth in exchange for his army's power. The old general was fascinated by her vast knowledge and bold vision for the Egyptian realm. Together, they secretly forged a powerful, dangerous pact under the flickering candlelight. Ptolemy XIII flew into a violent rage when he discovered his sister's clever trap. The young king swiftly ordered his massive army to surround and destroy the Roman forces. A brutal and bloody civil war erupted right in the heart of the city of Alexandria. If you were facing certain death, would you risk everything to make a deal with a foreign conqueror? The brutal war raged on with devastating fury, burning parts of the magnificent library. Caesar's disciplined Roman legions fought against the massive numbers of the Egyptian army. Despite the heavy odds, the brilliant Roman tactics shattered Ptolemy's disorganized forces. The young boy king tragically drowned in the Nile while trying to escape the chaotic battlefield. With her foes utterly defeated, Cleopatra reclaimed her position on the Egyptian throne. She celebrated her victory by taking Caesar on a luxurious cruise down the river. This spectacular journey displayed her immense wealth and the divine majesty of her ancient rule. Soon after, she gave birth to a healthy boy, proudly naming him Caesarion, son of Caesar. This child formed a powerful living bridge between the Egyptian Empire and the Republic. Cleopatra boldly traveled to Rome, living in a magnificent villa outside the city. Her exotic presence deeply shocked the conservative Roman senators, who feared her influence. They angrily viewed her as a dangerous seductress, destroying their beloved republic. Caesar erected a golden statue of her inside the sacred temple of Venus Genetrix. This bold, controversial action felt like a massive insult to the proud Roman citizens. Whispers of a dark conspiracy quickly spread through the marble halls of the powerful Senate. The senators truly feared Caesar wanted to become a king and move the capital to Egypt. On the bloody Ides of March, Caesar was brutally struck down by his own trusted colleagues. His sudden violent death completely shattered the fragile political peace of the Roman world. Realizing she was in grave danger, Cleopatra fled back to the safety of Alexandria. She desperately needed to protect her young son and secure her ancient kingdom's borders. Back in Egypt, she swiftly banished all remaining rivals to ensure her absolute rule. Meanwhile, a massive, bloody civil war erupted across the vast, divided Roman Empire. Two powerful men emerged victorious: Caesar's heir Octavian and General Marc Antony. Antony took total control of the wealthy eastern provinces, meeting massive funds for his men. He urgently summoned the Egyptian queen to Tarsus to answer grave political charges. Cleopatra knew this was another crucial test of her brilliant political manipulation skills. She did not arrive as a humble servant, but sailed in on a magnificent ship of pure gold. Dressed elegantly as the goddess of love, she created a truly unforgettable spectacle. Marc Antony, a passionate soldier, was instantly mesmerized by her incredible beauty. He completely forgot his political anger and eagerly joined her in lavish celebrations. Once again, she successfully secured a powerful Roman protector to defend her ancient realm. The political alliance quickly became a deeply passionate and legendary affair. Antony fully embraced the Eastern lifestyle, slowly alienating his strict Roman allies. He publicly declared her children as the absolute rulers of the Eastern territories.
Are the rightful rulers of the Eastern kingdoms.
Was her romance with Antony true love, or a brilliant and desperate survival tactic? Octavian used these rumors to turn the Roman Republic completely against Marc Antony. He read Antony's secret will aloud, revealing his desire to be buried in the sands of Egypt. This shocking revelation was the final spark igniting the ultimate war for absolute power. Octavian declared total war, not against his fellow Roman, but against the Egyptian queen. The entire ancient world's fate would be decided in the dark waters of the Ionian Sea. The famous Battle of Actium was a catastrophic turning point for the grand Egyptian fleet. Octavian's brilliant general Agrippa trapped the massive warships of Antony and his queen. Fire and blood consumed the cold sea as the mighty Roman forces destroyed the heavy vessels. Seeing her golden ships burning fiercely, Cleopatra made a sudden and desperate choice. She ordered her royal flagship to turn around, frantically escaping the chaotic lines. Heartbroken and defeated, Antony abandoned his loyal men to blindly follow her. This terrible retreat completely shattered his reputation as an honorable Roman commander. They sailed back to Alexandria, fully knowing that their great and glorious empire was doomed. Victorious Octavian ruthlessly marched his massive legions toward the Egyptian borders. Antony desperately tried to fight back, but his remaining soldiers simply surrendered. Feeling utterly betrayed and disgraced, the once mighty general departed on his own terms. He was carried, quickly fading away, into the grand mausoleum where the tragic queen hid. He slowly passed away in her arms, leaving her entirely alone in a rapidly falling world. With her true love gone and her royal army defeated, the proud queen faced absolute ruin. Octavian finally entered the beautiful ancient city as an unstoppable conqueror. He captured Cleopatra, coldly planning to display her in his glorious Roman triumph. Being paraded in chains through the busy streets of Rome was a terrible humiliation. She was a divine pharaoh. She absolutely refused to become a pathetic trophy of war. Cleopatra secretly gathered her most loyal, trusted handmaidens in her private chamber. They gently bathed her tired body, beautifully dressing her in the finest royal garments. She wrote a final, heartbreaking letter to Octavian, asking to be buried near Antony. A simple peasant carefully delivered a woven basket full of sweet and ripe summer figs. Hidden deep within the sweet fruit was a deadly and venomous serpent, the sacred asp. To the ancient Egyptians, the snakebite offered divine protection and eternal freedom. She calmly placed her pale and trembling hand into the dark basket to choose her final escape. The sacred serpent's bite brought a highly peaceful and quiet end to her majestic life. Her two devoted servants bravely chose to fade away right beside their beloved queen. When Roman soldiers finally broke the heavy wooden doors, they discovered a tragic scene. The glorious female pharaoh was forever silenced, resting in her majestic golden glory. Octavian had successfully won the brutal war, but she brilliantly escaped his control. Her tragic passing marked the dramatic final end of the mighty Ptolemaic dynasty. Egypt completely lost its proud independence, becoming a mere wealthy province of Rome. The legendary queen was gracefully buried next to her lover, just as she deeply desired. Roman historians painted her as a wicked and incredibly dangerous seductress. They falsely claim she used her physical beauty to heavily destroy their greatest leaders. But the hidden truth reveals a fiercely intelligent ruler, fighting for survival.
They are correct. Prepare the defense.
She was highly educated, politically brilliant, and deeply devoted to her kingdom. In a harsh, brutal world entirely dominated by men, she fiercely held her sacred ground. She managed to protect her vulnerable borders for over 2 challenging decades. Her desperate political alliances were carefully calculated moves to prevent disaster. Even her final tragic sacrifice was an incredibly powerful and defiant political act. She denied Octavian his ultimate prize, forever preserving her majestic dignity. For centuries, talented artists and famous poets have tried to capture her immortal spirit. The image of the beautiful queen, holding the deadly snake, remains an iconic masterpiece. Yet her true and glorious face continues to elude even our most brilliant archaeologists. Her magnificent golden tomb is still carefully hidden beneath the dusty Egyptian sand. Perhaps it is deeply fitting that her final resting place completely remains a mystery. She successfully manipulated her powerful enemies and the very fabric of history itself. Her legendary name strongly echoes through time, whispering stories of unparalleled power. We must look beyond the deceptive Roman propaganda to truly understand her tragic life. She was a divine goddess to her loyal subjects and a terrifying nightmare to her foes. Cleopatra brilliantly used every available weapon to defend her magnificent empire. When all her clever strategies ultimately failed, she embraced a noble and highly poetic end. She was not just the final Egyptian tear, but a remarkably proud, defiant ocean storm. Her incredibly tragic story perfectly illustrates the heavy cost of absolute power. She played a deadly game of empires and thrones against the most powerful men in the world. In the end, she courageously chose to perish as a queen, rather than strictly live as a slave. The stunning sands of the eternal desert quietly swept over the once mighty, ancient realm. But the brilliant memory of the last ruling pharaoh brightly burns like a guiding star. Her immense wealth and incredible palaces have sadly vanished entirely into the dust. However, her inspiring and truly immortal legacy continues to fascinate our society. She perfectly proves that superior intellect and bravery can greatly challenge massive armies. The incredible myth of Cleopatra is forever woven into the rich tapestry of time. A glorious female ruler who completely captivated the very heart of the ancient Western world. As the shining sun sets beautifully over the silent Nile, we remember her grand sacrifice. A majestic queen who fearlessly gave her final precious breath for her beloved nation. The deeply tragic tear of ancient Egypt gently falls endlessly through all of human history. Her legacy remains etched in the sands of time. Was she a hero, destroyed by massive ambition? Or a loyal queen who sacrificed everything for her people? Share your thoughts in the comments below. If you enjoyed this historic journey, please like, share, and subscribe for more epic ancient tales.